I'm going to click the captioning button so that I can be captioned. There we go. Captioning is now on. I should be live. I should be captioned. I should be audible. People should be able to hear me, hopefully on the internet. Okay. After a little bit of delay, as we were dealing with all sorts of fun tech issues, because we're trying something a little different here. So, and things are a little crazy around the Lorelink offices. I mean, we definitely have offices, plural, because we have our own separate houses with their own offices. So I can say offices. It's fine. As we get ready for two fun things, basically a Kickstarter and a convention appearance. So it's been a little bit crazy and hectic. So if we all sound a little tired or stressed, that's why. But in any case, all that exciting stuff aside, we'll talk more about that probably towards the end of the stream. We're here to play RPGs. And we're going to play. I'm going to put myself on the screen. Look at this beautiful greenness. Look at this. Woo, it's all green. It's all modified in green. I try to tweak my camera, so I'm mostly in the hex. It doesn't want me to be in the hex. There we go. I'm kind of in the hex. A hex. All right. I might as well bring in people as well. Say hello, people.
Hello.
Hello, people.
Yep. All right. So
I can't. Wait, hang on. No, we're good.
I'm getting
Sorry.
a weird echo, but I don't know why.
Hello, world.
I'm wondering if Discord has decided to finally actually start monitoring again. That would be funny. In any case, yes, we are here. We have the Verdant Way. We are playing Floria, the Verdant Way. It's a fun little RPG. Basically, the people here who play basically haven't really played it. I have read through it and I have a general grasp on it. So we will attempt to talk through it and show it off. And just have a good time with it. It is not a basically it is not a deep crunchy system like Traveler or something like that. It is a fun system. It is actually originally a Japanese game that got translated here recently, got kickstarted, and is now available on Drive-Through RPG. If you choose to search it out there, you can see the PDF like that. Random page in the PDF there. It's really got some really pretty cover art. But essentially the game is everybody lives in a big planet covered in an endless magical wood. And there are herbs, and that's herbs with a capital H, that are magical connections with the planet that essentially give people magical powers by basically the herbs kind of have a symbiotic relationship with their hosts. They grow on the hosts, so all Floria, who are basically essentially the PC class in this game, have an herb growing somewhere on their body. It may or may not be visible to everyone, but generally there's like a little flower blossom, maybe a vine sprouting here or there, like a cowlick or something like that. But all of them are basically essentially have a deep connection to nature because of that. And so I'm going to be running. Oops, let me go ahead and get rid of the PDF from the screen so you can see it. And I need to move. Or capture window needs to go up a bit because it's currently being obscured by something. But in any case, so how this game works is it is a very relatively simple, or basically relatively straightforward. I won't say simple, but relatively straightforward type of game. It will consist of 3 parts, essentially. It consists of a introduction, where the players are introduced to whatever the minor problem is troubling the village today. Could be anything from, oh, there's a rampaging something is basically someone has gone missing from the village to, or in the case of this one, oh no, the baker has gotten sick, and so now we have to deal with the fact that we're working with the apprentice baker. Very, very, very serious, dramatic stuff here. So there's always going to be that introduction. That is going to be followed by a journey into the magical forest, where basically the players will essentially go out and basically gather herbs and other such things so that they can realizing I need to add characters here. So they can grab herbs or whatever they need for the to basically to support the basically to find whatever they need for the for whatever conflict. So maybe gathering ingredients for something. Maybe it's hunting down someone who has gone missing. Maybe it is basically just as simple as finding your way through the woods from point A to point B. So because of that, and basically then after that point, there is usually some kind of magical conflict at the end. There's a little magical battle between the players and whatever it is they were hunting down or chasing or something like that. And once that is accomplished, then basically then here's a little epilogue and you're done. Again, relatively straightforward, not too complicated. And not too dark or grim or serious. You can get used to, obviously, anything can be, you can make as grim or as serious as you want. It just doesn't really fit as well with the theme of this game to have a absolutely dark and grim and gritty game. So, how this one starts out. Basically the three of you, and basically each of you basically to kind of speed through introductions here a little bit. Basically, you kind of be thinking about this as you are basically as I'm reading this out. All three of you are villagers in this village. You've been in this village. It's such a small little village. Its name is probably just a village. You've all grown up in this village. You know everyone in the village. You've talked to everyone. You know where everything is in town. And so it is up to you to decide how your character wants to interact with everyone else and the town itself. But just know all three of you are natives. All three of you are basically have grown up around here and have kind of been friends with everyone else for as long as you can remember. And so today, basically, there's always a little poem that they start off with. And today's it is, Old Lady Amara runs a popular sweet shop, but lately the shop is always shuttered. Some say the poor lady had to hurt her back too bad to bake. Luckily, her apprentice Panna has taken a stand to save their bakery. She's gathered up a group of Floria to hunt ingredients and remake Amara's cakes. If only she could remember their exact recipe. What sort of cake will the poor girl bake? Floria the Verdant Way, the apprentice patisserie, and the crazy cake caper in this beautiful world of woods and wonders. The curtain rises on another magical tale. And so that is how the adventure starts off. I'm realizing I'm covering myself up here. Hi. So as this adventure starts off, City of the Shining Glow Wisteria is actually the name of the village. City of the Shining Street. This is a very lively city full of many people, some who have magic and some who don't. On the main street of Glow Wisteria, which acts as the beating heart of the city, is a sweet shop well known and beloved by residents. The name of the place is Little Red Hood. A grandmotherly Floria named Amara works there using herbs to create wondrous cakes that are famous among the people of the city. However, lately the shop has been shuttered up and no one has seen Amara for days. Every day now, people come to look at the closed sign of the door, some with disappointment, some with worry. This is where you come in. You start off in front of the shop. As always, there are a few people standing around nearby, looking forlornly at the closed shop. The shop is locked, preventing anyone from entering. You can hear snippets of conversation from around your... I'm worried. What if she's sick? I was hoping to get a birthday cake for my daughter. Wait, didn't Amara have an apprentice? Can't the apprentice make cakes if Amara's not well? After a while, a young girl peeks at you all from the back entrance of the shop. She kind of frantically waves her hands and kind of makes wild beckoning gestures, and it's getting more and more obvious until one of you will notice her, and then she'll flag you, basically kind of pull you all over. She basically she looks basically she looks like this, possibly. Where did I put her? There she is. I don't know if I actually have her in the image in here. Ooh, 1 second. You can see her on stream if you're looking at the stream. If you're not looking at the stream, I understand that because you don't need to hear an echo. But in any case,
she's cute.
Now you're asking me to drag it up. Fine. Uh-oh. For everyone who's in Roll20, there is.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. So
Hi
it's
there.
she basically, well, she looks quite basically. She doesn't look quite as happy in her basically in actual. She looks kind of frantic, and she's kind of clutching that whisk, which she is still carrying, just kind of clutching it very tightly, and definitely wringing her hands on it in a somewhat nervous gesture. And basically she basically goes, you guys are Floria, right? I'm Panna Tartlet. I'm training to be a patisserie, as Amara's apprentice. I'm not very good yet, though. She kind of scuffs the dirt a little. I actually have something I want to do, but I need some Floria to help me. She kind of drops her voice to a whisper and kind of backs away a little bit from the crowd that's out there. Amara, I mean, Milady hurt her back recently, and she's still recovering. She hasn't been able to bake any cakes recently, and so it's put a damper on her spirits. She keeps telling me not to worry, but as her apprentice, I just can't leave things like this. So I thought I'd try to recreate one of her cakes myself. If I can do that, I'm sure she'll let me take over the shop a while she gets better. So I really need some ingredients for that, though. And to get the ingredients, I need to go out into the woods. Can you take me out into the woods to get some ingredients, please? I'm begging you. Will you help me?
What type of ingredients do you need?
Um. She kind of basically. I know. I'll know them when I see them. I know vaguely. I think I know where they are. We just have to go out into the woods and find them. They won't be too far. Amara never has any trouble finding them.
Of course, my dear. I'm happy to help.
She kind of looks at the rest of you.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to help.
I'm in.
She's like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so she kind of bows and kind of bobs her head and almost loses her little hat a couple of times. She's like, all right, basically, let's grab. I'll go grab a basket. And then we can be good to go. Okay. Hang on. She runs back in and comes back out. With a basically now for the cake ingredients, basically she always goes off. Basically, the lady always goes out to harvest herbs by herself, so I'm not exactly sure where she gets them. So again, basically, as soon as I see them, I think I sort of remember what they're called. Basically, we'll be able to find them once we're out there. So she kind of leads you off into the woods. And I'm not certain how much of the map you guys can currently see or not.
I'm getting a black screen. I don't know if it's me
Same.
or just
No map.
Yeah, not.
Hey,
Okay.
I
Hi,
see a
now
little
I
box.
see a map.
Okay,
One little
good.
corner.
Yep, you should just see start and basically peaceful woods. So this is the search phase of the adventure. So how that works is basically you're going to search basically how all of Floria works out is you will essentially it's like a little bit of a board game type thing. Basically board game miniatures type things. As you can kind of see on the map, there are two exits from this woods. There is an exit to the south and an exit to the east. And so when we go, basically each play, basically this is just going to be round robin. And each of you are going to basically take a turn, basically saying what you want to do. And on your turn, you can either search a location. Basically, you can, let me actually pull up the exact list here because it's been a little bit since I looked at it, but I want to make sure. So you'll declare your action, and your action can be you can make a search check to search basically to look ahead to see what's out in the forest ahead. That is a dexterity plus wisdom check, and you should have search checks already on your character sheets. If you look at the PDFs, you should have search check already listed there. And if you do that, you're able to select a number of spaces equal to your vitality that are at most the number of spaces away from your current position equal to your vitality.
I don't see search check.
That would be on the first page. It's in the bottom left corner, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. And vitality is basically in the little section under the basically it's a strength, will, dexterity, wisdom, vitality, and agility.
I see that.
Okay.
I just didn't see search. Now
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So how it will end up working is that you can make the search check to basically look ahead to see what's out there ahead of you. You can collect objects, which are little basically those are little mini things. Basically they're little helpful things that will help you in the final section of this map. They're not herbs. They're just like you find a magical rock. You find basically a shiny piece of fabric or something like that. They're little things which have been left out in the woods long enough that they've become magical, and they can help you. You can see on the map basically there is an object section that kind of tells you whether or not basically there are objects in this area or not. Like you can see the fact this one has nothing listed under object. So you know that there are no objects here. You know that information to start with. You can use any items you have, which at this point you don't have any items, so you can't use any. You could use skills, which if you go to your second page, you'll see a list of skills. And some of you will have things that work out here. Some of them only will have stuff that works in the basically it works in the magical combat. It's fairly easy to tell. Basically, this is called the search phase. So anything that refers to the search phase is a skill you can use here. Most of the search phase stuff has like the bear has the ability to basically can move further than other players at basically during their turn. The dryad. I think the dryad is basically there we go. Dryad has blessed rainfall. Basically during the search phase you can add an object to an area. Meaning the fact that you can essentially say that there is an object here. And the human, I believe, that's the grid. I don't want the grid. I want the human actual PDF. Thank you. And the human can essentially combine items together so that they're basically they don't take up as much space. All of you have a carrying capacity, which is in your upper right or lower right of your front page. And you also have the ability. You have strength in numbers, which lets you basically allows you to once per session change anybody's failure into a success. But that could either be used during the search or that could be used during the actual. Basically, spoiler: there will be a combat at the end of this, so you can either save it. You can save it for that as well. Basically, and then the last thing you do after you do all of this, you could also socialize, which means you could talk with your friends, and talking with your friends increases your familiarity with that person. And increasing familiarity allows you to help them better in the combat phase that will help and occur later. You can restore life points for 1d with 1d6. And you could also complete a quest, which basically means the fact that if you have everything you need, you can essentially end the search phase. Or if there are certain things which are going on, like you have to go to a certain space and do something, you can complete the quest. That actually will be more obvious once it happens. As a note, so what will end up happening is there are different environments which you can see. This is peaceful woods. That kind of affects what type of herbs you can find here. So what Panna will tell you is that what she remembers about the herbs that you guys are looking for is the following. She remembers that there was some kind of flour syrup and some kind of colorful topping. And then there was something she always called her secret ingredient, which was some kind of basically some kind of leaf that she always used. So each of you basically you can choose to on your turn make a check, which will be I have the checks listed. Where's the checks? Oh, dexterity plus will is the check to it's just essentially a check to identify
on our sheet, it calls it a magic check. Will plus dex.
Yeah, will plus everyone's magic is slightly different, so everyone uses magic slightly differently. So okay, this isn't will plus dex. It'll essentially be a will plus will check. Actually, will plus will doesn't sound right. Let me double check something. Yeah. It would be a wisdom plus will check to identify what she's talking about and where basically what environment it's likely to be found. So you can make that check at the start of your turn. Basically, as opposed to moving or doing something else. Basically, turns should go by relatively quickly. So don't worry, like, oh no, I'm wasting a turn. You only have so many. There is a timing element, but basically this adventure doesn't have one, so it doesn't particularly matter. We would go into it more if there was an actual time limit imposed on this. Essentially, you are spending the day out in the woods. So we will start with Michael, then 20, then Martine, and then next turn it'll be 20, Martine, then Michael, and then the turn after that it'll be Martine, Michael, then 20, and so on and so forth. So
I always go after Mike unless I'm starting.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Mike, what do you want to do on your turn? So basically, you've come into the woods. You're in a peaceful section of the woods. There are no objects here that you can see.
So we're in the search phase. So I can do something other than just search. You
You can choose to move. Dexterity plus wisdom. There it is.
Yeah, the search check is Dex plus wisdom. Do I move and then see what's there, or do I search before moving?
Basically, you can. Let me double check. I'm fairly certain that that's Magic Battle. Come on. Okay. Movement is either done before or after your action.
Got it.
You move up to your vitality number of spaces. You can also choose to pay life points from your character to move even further.
I can move vitality spaces, but can't even see what spaces are there. So
that's what the search action is. So you could do search and then.
Yeah. Let's do a search action then. Since I'm up front, we're going to do a search.
Okay.
So I'm looking for 2d6, and it wants to be lower than 9, correct?
That is correct.
That's my add is not lower than 9.
Okay. As a note, when you make a check, where does it go? Basically, there are targets and things like that. If I need to change it, you can. Basically, if someone is familiar with you, they can aid your check, which means that they can add your familiarity score to the result of the dice. Basically to the check to the check rather.
How do we know if we're familiar?
You
said we were, right?
Basically, that is an action to do it. So, you can when you are in the same space as another character, you can essentially have a conversation with them, and that will raise your recent familiarity. I will say that everybody has a familiarity of 1 just to start, because you've all spent some time with each other.
So with a 10 being a failure on my search, I could still go ahead and move, but I didn't learn anything.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yep. As a note, basically, once the dice are rolled, the PC making the check can pay any number of triangles or squares. Okay. Basically, we will talk about this really briefly. So each of you have the grids in front of you. Even note the fact that there are random assortments of lines and things like that. And on your character sheets, you will see things that talk about squares, diamonds, ribbons, not diamonds, but squares, basically things that talk about squares, triangles, and stars, and what looks like 2 triangles put together, otherwise known as a ribbon. So what this means is to pay the cost of something that calls for a triangle, you need to fill in a 3-sided shape on your sheet, anywhere on your sheet. If it calls for a square, you have to fill in a 4-sided shape anywhere on your sheet. And if it calls for a ribbon, it's 2 3-sided sheets basically whose points are touching. And star is exactly what it says on the square, basically on the box. It is a star-shaped thing. Basically, Magic Burks adds 1 to the target. Basically, it adds 1 to the target for each shape that was paid to activate it.
Yep.
So if you wanted to increase the target by
something and it's once you've colored something in, that section is no longer available, so you can't overlap a star with the triangle, for example.
Correct.
Okay.
But I can do that, can't I? That little tiny spot? It's a triangle, technically.
Basically, if it is a 3-sided shape, yes, it counts. You will also when you are gathering herbs, gathering herbs can either be used to gather the herbs you need to complete this quest, or you can gather herbs which are in the forest, and basically essentially add them to your existing collection, which will allow you to add additional lines to your grid. For example, I will basically, like, there are some that allow you to basically have a straight line that takes up 4 spaces, a straight line that takes up 3 spaces, a straight line that takes up basically a triangle, things like that. All those can get added to your grid. So that's part of the herb thing, and that is something you can always do on any turn. Basically, harvesting herbs is something you do at the end of the turn. Yep.
Clarifying question.
Mm-hmm.
On my sheet, if I needed to do a triangle, could I do this? Like, do the grid lines count as lines, or is it only the black line?
The grid lines do not count. It's the black lines.
Okay. Thank you.
With the exception of the outer edge.
Oh,
Got it.
Grid lines don't count? Ah.
That's...
My bad. I thought grid lines counted. Okay, that changes
Yeah.
everything. In that case, we'll do, I guess, that to make that search a success.
Okay.
Since I was only off by 1. So that what makes that a 9, and that becomes a success.
Basically, it technically increases it raises the skill check, so it becomes a 10.
Okay,
So that becomes a success.
Got it. Okay, cool. What do I find?
Okay, so basically, this is essentially what's your vitality?
My vitality is 3.
Okay, so you can reveal 3 squares up to 3 squares away. Which basically you can see there are 2 squares connecting to yours, so you have to pick one of those 2 to start.
Right?
Okay. That one has a connection to basically to the east and to the south as well.
Let's go east again.
Okay. Again, east and to the south.
And let's go south 1 of the starting location.
Okay. Oh, start one of the starting location. Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever.
I'll do
No
that.
matter.
It's easy to fix. Boop. And there you go. This one does not have a connection to the east. So you can see basically there's a sunbeams, a chilly area, and another sunbeams area.
Yep.
That's going to affect
Cool.
the herbs, and it's going basically the chilly area doesn't actually basically doesn't have any effect other than it's a little chilly, a little brisk, and you'll have to bundle up. Okay, so now you've done that. Now you do the harvesting herb.
Okay.
Turn player will roll basically the turn player, who is you, Mike. Basically will roll to pick one random herb from the list of herbs starting on page 38. Okay.
Is that a 1d6?
It is a 1d6.
Oops. It's a 6.
Okay. Art is peaceful. What's the environment here? Peaceful woods. Does peaceful woods not actually have? Oh, we'll just do that. That's fine. You rolled a 6. Okay, so you got.
There's no specific area indicated for the environment of the space the player is on. They roll 1d6 to randomly determine the area before rolling 1d6 to determine the herb.
Yeah, okay, so you're in area 6. So go ahead and roll another d6. Okay. So what you find that there is a massive tree. Basically this herb, it's called a tree of paradise. Basically you're going through, and as you're searching for stuff, you spot one of these, and it is a massive rainbow of color. And it will give you a really interesting herb to basically put on your grid. which is essentially an M shape. So think basically it goes, basically has a straight line, another basically on a grid that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, but a 4x4 grid is essentially an M. So
Okay.
you can rotate that however
Tree of
you
Paradise.
want.
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
Got it.
You can rotate that however you want. However, you must basically anything that intersects basically each end of the line has to actually go onto an intersection of a grid. So you can't do it as a you can't put it into the middle of the grid. It has to go into a grid point rather.
8. Yeah, it has to start on a vertex between
Yep.
grids. Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
I guess 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. And do you want to move? Technically, you should have moved before you
I
harvested,
believe.
but
Oh, I should have moved before harvesting?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was harvesting then move. My bad. Well, there's an M now. That's cute. And I will move south.
Yep.
To the sunbeams.
All right. 20, your turn. You can search.
Is this where I admit that I am very confused?
That's fine.
Okay.
We've been a little rushed here, so it's not too confusing.
Let me just lay it all out there.
No problem.
You're going to have to walk me through this.
So you can basically, so how this works is you can move. You can move, and basically you can move and then take an action, or you can take an action then move. Your choice. Actions include, in this case, you can take an action to talk to Panna and try to figure out what the herb you're looking for is and where it could be found, which is a wisdom check. There is a search check, which lets you look at areas on the map and see what environments are out there. There's collect object. If there is a place that says one object on it, which you haven't revealed any yet, you could pick up an object from there. You can use an item if you have one. You can use a skill if you have one. You can talk to one of your friends and gain familiarity with them. Or you can rest and recover life points, which you haven't lost any, so you don't need to.
I mean, I need to. My character might.
So you're in these woods to find the herbs that Panna has basically needs for the cake. She's fairly certain that if she sees them, she'll be able to recognize them. So you can either attempt to talk to her and tease out of her what you're looking for, or you can take her through the woods and see if she goes, "Oh, there it is. It looks like that." Because the herbs are in specific locations in the map.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I will ask Panna. Can you give us a better description of the herbs you were talking about?
So basically, she'll ask you like basically there are three that she is looking for: flour syrup, colorful toppings, and Amara's secret ingredient.
Which was like a leaf.
Yes.
Okay.
So
just to confirm my understanding, there's a herb that is a syrup?
Basically, it is an herb. Basically, it's a flower that you harvest syrup out of.
Ah. Huh.
So essentially, you're looking it's a flower, a berry of some sort, and a leaf are the three things you're looking for. So which one do you want to try to pump her for more information on?
Tell me more about this flower. What color?
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wisdom plus wisdom check. So roll 2d6 and try to roll under your wisdom plus wisdom.
So I just rolled 2d6.
Yep. Okay. What is your wisdom
That's
plus
over.
wisdom? Okay, by how much?
Yeah. By 1.
Okay. So she's like, oh, okay, so the flowers are, I remember them being like really red. And I remember that we had to, where did we get those? I think it was, she kind of gestures in a easterly direction. And she said it was amongst some rocks. I seem to remember that it was it was hard to get to.
Hard to get to because you had to climb over the rocks?
Yeah, they grew out of cracks in the crevices in the rocks. And so that's basically, I'm not going to give you the exact location because you didn't quite make it, but you were really close.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's what you get out of her. So at this point, you can choose to move. You do not have to stay inside of discovered areas to move. You can choose to move into undiscovered areas.
Okay.
And you can move you move your vitality.
So I can move 3 if my vitality is 3?
Correct.
And that's 3 of these big squares on the Magic Forest map?
Correct.
Okay. Well, let's move easterly.
Okay. Do you want to go all the way east, or do you want to stop at one of the ones in the middle?
Let's stop in the Sunbeams area.
Okay. I just realized that it's let me actually. Can you let me select edit? That'd be cool. Roll 20. Okay, fine. Oh, I know why. I know why you're being stupid. Roll 20. Okay. 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 Martina's still here.
I'm just curious, am I supposed to be able to see my token?
You should be able to see something with your name on it starting.
Yeah, I don't
now.
have any of that.
Nope, same.
Really? Are they? No, they're on
Now
the
I
objects.
see my name moving around, but I'm not doing it.
Oh, weird. It's not actually, it doesn't have an image associated with it, so it's just okay, cool. Neat.
I can now click on that.
Okay. Huh.
Which is interesting, but I didn't see it until just now.
Neat.
Yeah, I don't have a character or anything either.
All right, 1 second. In any case, so you're in Sun. Basically, while I'm taking care of that, go ahead and roll me a d6.
1d6.
1d6. Oh, that's why. Okay, that gave you a 1. So in Sunbeams, a 1 gets you. Need to bookmark this section. Gets you something called a wonder weed. It's a mysterious broccolini-like herb that just grows everywhere. It is a 4. I don't know if you probably there is a PDF in the basically in our Slack channel.
I see it. I'm looking at it.
Okay, so you see the wonder weed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that line goes anywhere on your grid. It does have to connect to, or at least cross over at some point, something that already exists on your grid. So you can't just throw it off randomly in its own space. But you get to add that to your grid and use that too. And yes, now here's Wonderweed. Okay. That brings us to Martine. All right, Martine. So your options are: you can choose to try to pump Panna for more options. Basically, you can choose to move into one of these locations. You can choose to search. Not search. You can choose to search. Yeah, you can choose to search and look ahead and see what's out there.
I'm gonna look ahead and see what's out there.
Okay, give me a search check.
So search is Dex plus Wisdom, so 7. So it's a D6 plus 7.
Basically, roll 2d6, and you're trying to get under that number.
Oh, okay, got it. 2d6. That is
Okay.
a 4, so that is a success.
Okay. What's your vitality?
My vitality is 3.
Okay. So, what squares would you like to basically reveal? There is one here, 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 and here.
I'll go ahead and do the one between 2 and 5 at the intersection of 2 and 5.
The intersection of 2 and 5. Okay. Let me reveal that one. That is.
Interestingly, I can't see either Mike or Martine's tokens either.
I can't see my own tokens. It's all good.
Trying to fix that. So that is 6 is now revealed. You have 2 more.
2 more squares I can reveal?
Yep, that you can reveal this one.
Yeah.
This one.
I'm gonna reveal this one.
Okay.
Might as well. And I will reveal that one.
Okay. Note that difficult.
So now I can.
Now you can note that difficult terrain is basically represents a rocky cliffside.
So I will go search the rocky cliffside since we just found
Okay.
out that some of the plants were part of the rocky cliffside.
All right. So you go out to the rocky cliffside. And basically, indeed, you can basically, so you have 2 choices here. You could choose to gain a random herb, or you can try to harvest. You will see the red herb that represents that looks very much like what Panna described. Is a plant.
Well, I'm going to try to harvest the red one.
Okay. This one has to be harvested. It takes a little bit more basically complicated to get. So you need to roll strength plus strength and get under that. And is the
so strength plus strength. So I need to get under 6.
Correct. And basically, so you can choose to spend a triangle or a square to raise that check by 1, and that will make you succeed at that check.
I will go ahead and do that.
Okay. So you will complete that quest. You will now have the sucrodendron. Sucrodendron petals.
Or a square.
And Panna follows you, and she basically very excitedly points and claps to them. And basically, when you point to them, and just very happily adds them to her basket of herbs for the cake. It's like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what we used, what we need for the flower syrup. So happy. We're off to a great start.
How long have you been apprenticing, Panna?
It's been a little bit. I mean, I'm really close to figuring it all out. I mean, I've been watching Amaro a lot.
Good.
All right. Then starting out this new cycle, 20, you get to start.
Okay. So we found the flower, right?
Correct.
Tell me more about these berries, Pano. Like shape, color, size.
Give me wisdom plus wisdom.
So that's 6. So then I have to roll under 6, right?
Correct.
Okay. With 1 or 2?
2 dice.
So I'm under.
Okay. You want to know about the berries? She's like, oh, the berries. Oh, they're really, they're like really super colorful. Like they come in all sorts of different colors. And basically, they tended to grow in kind of a tropical type area. I heard that it was it's a really warm type of section. It was like really pretty, and like there are lots of colors everywhere, and there's these berries that grow there. I think they're called rainbow berries. And in fact, yes, she knows that there is something called rainbow berries, and they grow in a tropical section. And basically, you know that there is a tropical section to the south of where you are.
We do?
You do, as in you personally know from your time in the woods, as it were. Not you can see it on the map.
I see. And do they grow on trees or bushes?
Oh, bushes.
Okay. Obviously, I will share that with everyone if they weren't already listening.
Well, it's a little harder because everyone's kind of scattered, but you kind of call
yes,
out.
But I will make sure they know.
Okay.
We need to go south at some point.
Trying to get tokens for people. I need a bear. I don't really have I have a horse. I have a manatee. Manatees are like bears, right?
Close enough.
You know what? It's gonna be a wombat. Congrats.
No, actually, no. They're not like bears at all.
What?
They're like manatees are like vegetarian. Bears are not.
Blowing my mind here, 20. Can't believe you did this to me.
I know, right? I mean, leaving apart that one swims and one does not. I mean, one lives in water and one does not.
I mean, hey, in Florida recently, a bear just swam up out of the Gulf or the ocean. I can't remember which one it came out of. So you know,
For real?
yeah, there's a new story about that.
God. Florida man.
That's a blanket, not an electric blanket.
Good. Teddy bear? Do you just want a picture of a teddy bear?
No, I'll just grab this. It's close enough.
Dear.
Hopefully you'll be able to see this.
Well, I've disappeared. Oh, I could still click on me, but my picture only shows when I click and hold. That's funny.
That's weird. I don't know why it's acting like that. Roll 20. Why?
What if I just leave Roll20 and come? Wonder what happened.
Well, before you do that, where do you want to move to? Oh, fine. Farewell. You're gone.
I'm reloading. It's still a problem. Where do I want to move? And I can move. You said vitality is basically my speed, right?
Correct.
Okay. Let's go there.
Okay. Roll me a d6. It's a little bit chillier here. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Yes, the woods are magical, which means yes, they are random. Basically, you randomly will get a bunch of different environments. Another 6. Okay. That is a 6 in the chilly area, which that will get you. What is known as a stout pine, a pine tree and herb known for its being too darn tough. Makes for great building materials. It gives you an H shape. All right, Martine, you're up next.
Does my stout pine have to touch the sides of the canvas?
No, it
Or
just
can I-
basically it has to connect to your existing
Grid
grid.
or ley lines?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we know we need to go south. So I'm going to explore.
Okay.
So I need to roll. I can't find my mouse. There you go. That is a 4, so that is a success.
Okay. So you have 3 spaces you can choose
I'm
to
gonna
go to.
do, based on the numbering, what I assume is 8.
Okay.
And 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Do they have to be connected? So, like, could I also do 10 or?
You can do 10 because it is connected to 9.
Okay. So then let's do 10. Ooh, there's a tropical. So I'm gonna go to the tropical one, and I'm gonna try to see what I find there.
Well, your movement is your vitality.
Oh, my vitality. My movement is 3.
Okay. So you have to move along the black lines, and you can move 3
Oh,
squares.
okay.
You're currently
So
in
what are
space
the
4.
dotted lines? Oh, I don't want to go in dangerous anyway. I'm in difficult terrain. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go into peace. No. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I guess the most direct route. Do I have to go 3 or can I go 2?
Like you can go to basically right now you could go to 8, which is the dangerous one. You can go to basically, but the 8 doesn't connect to anything.
Right. But I was thinking 7.
You could go to 3.
I was thinking about going to 7. Because
go
that
to
way
7.
next time it'll probably connect to tropical eventually, maybe. I'll take the chance.
Okay.
And,
you are also in Chile.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
So you can choose to use that. That's fine.
Can I grab random herbs to draw more stuff on my thing? Since we don't have anything in Chile?
Basically, you can put an object if you want to use your. I think you have the one who has the spell to make an object appear. Is that you or is that Mike?
Yeah, I think that's me.
Blessed rainfall on your character.
Oh no, that's not me. So we know that we're looking. We still have one. We don't know where we're looking for, right?
Correct.
I'll ask her where but
Well,
describe
just
that third one. We still don't have
okay.
any info.
You already used your action for in searching.
Oh,
So here you're just gathering
okay.
an herb, which is just rolling a d6. Sorry, I should be more
I'll
specific.
just gather an herb.
Yep, roll a d6.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. That means that you are going to get in Chile. You get something. You also get a wonder weed. They grow
You're
everywhere.
my wonder weed.
Don't go chasing wonder weeds. A mysterious, basically, a mysterious rock-lily herb that grows everywhere. It is a diagonal shape. If you have the PDF open, you can see it under Chile. If you do not, it goes from essentially on a grid of 2x4. It goes from the upper left to the lower right, 2 across, 4 down. Is essentially what it is. It has
2
to
across, 4 down.
Yep, it has to connect. Basically, has to at some point intersect or connect one of your existing lines.
Tubes.
Here's a dryad. You know what? We already have a token for a dryad. Where did I put it?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Mike, you are up next. Mike, are you there? Did you mute your microphone? The science portion of every game. We're trying to contact the spirit of
No,
Mike.
we can't hear you.
If you're out there, Mike, give us a sign. We cannot still hear you. We still cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yay! Now we can.
That was super weird. It just decided that whatever. Discord was good, but nobody else was. I am going to utilize my ability to let's see, it's Blessed Rainfall
Okay.
to add an object to the area that I'm in.
Okay. Basically, pay the
And
cost. If it has a cost associated, if it doesn't have a cost, then
it just says timing search.
okay. If it doesn't have anything next to cost, then you can use it. You can use it for free, and basically you could use it once per session,
Okay.
or however many times it says you can use it.
It doesn't give any limits. It just says search.
I'll have to double check that, but you're fine. You can use it so you can add an object to where you are.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do that. And that is that my entire action?
That is your
Or
action.
can I?
Using a skill is basically. So
Okay,
you've
so my
added
action
one
is
object.
that.
Yep.
So that means I cannot search. I could move, but I've just added an object here. So why would I move?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stay here. I like the sunbeams. They're very nice. They're lovely.
All right. How did I somehow blow that up?
Now I what harvest?
Now you harvest. You're harvesting out of sunbeams. So roll a d6. Okay. A 2 in sunbeams is a broth leaf. An herb of delicious, an herb with the leaves that make delicious stock when boiled. It's a short little 30-line one. Okay. And then is 20 back, or is Martine back, or is Martine still out?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, it's 20. It said she was leaving. So you are back. It is your turn to be first. So your turn.
Well, I'm going to explore further south.
Okay. You can choose to move if you want. You don't have to explore because explore takes your action.
Oh, that's true. Well,
You
I
could just
rolled
there's
and
there's
failed.
very rarely anything that will actually hurt you out here. So you can just move.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to explore down to see if I couldn't make it to the tropical. But I failed miserably on the explore roll. So,
Basically, the area where you're in, basically, it's a little bit chilly, and basically, you can't. Basically, you're getting blinded by the sunlight off the snow.
well, I'm going to pick up a random herb then.
Okay,
I mean, I already blew my action, so
and you can still move.
I can still move. No, this is fine.
Okay, give me a d6.
4.
4
Still have
in
found the
chili.
PDF. Sailing up, finding the PDF.
It's in the same channel just above where everything else was. A 4 in chili will give you a. Oops, wrong section. There we go. Wait. I'm going to. Now I'm always paranoid when I see this word because I always like my brain wants to say basically it is a forest brazier, not a forest brazier. I always have to check myself. This shrub-like herb grows in frigid areas and radiates from its trunk. It is a T shape. That goes. I'm glad we have that on command. Not going to make me anxious at all. Cool. Wonder why you guys can't see people. That's so weird.
It is weird.
Wait, is that why? Can you see now?
Are you asking anyone specific?
I was asking the group in general because I turned all the tokens
Yeah,
to
no.
permission C.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope. Only when I click and hold.
So
I can
weird.
click and hold on the other 2 tokens too. And see them. But not when I'm not clicking and holding on.
That's so weird.
It's a fascinating bug.
Yeah. Like I don't know what's causing it. It's probably partially due to the fact that I'm using the really old Fog of War stuff because I wasn't drawing lines because it's literally just a map here. So come on. But in any case, next up is Mike. And you have muted yourself again somehow, man.
I'm back. I
Okay.
don't know what's going on. So I harvested. I added the thing to my sheet.
Mm-hmm. So you
Oh,
want
is
to
it back to my
collect? You
turn
want
already?
to go ahead and because remember it shifts who starts every round.
Oh, I thought Martine started this time. Okay.
Yeah, she did. So it's Martine. It's Martine.
Oh, got it. Then I will go ahead and can I pick up the object? Whatever object
Yes,
is here?
that it can be your action for this round is to pick up the object.
Sweet. I will pick up the object.
Okay, roll me 2d6.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, how did?
Nice and low.
Oh, hey, my dice roll window decided to go somewhere else. That was cool of it. In
I
any case,
decided
you
to go on
rolled a.
vacation.
Yeah, it decided it didn't want to actually track the right window anymore. It's fine. Actually, I don't know what window it's. Actually, I know what it did. It decided to track the. There we go. Now it's back. A 6 gets you pining for you. Basically, this game is nothing else if not pun. Basically, it is an item that gives you the following effect. It is an herb tree with blushing red needles. It is said, often used in wedding decoration, as said to strengthen bonds between two peoples. You may recover 1 aid check for any PC. Normally, you can only aid somebody once. That's the familiarity thing. But this
Nice.
this will allow you to aid someone twice.
Sweet.
All right, and now you can move.
Yeah, with that said, I will go ahead and move to the tropics.
Okay.
Maybe. Hey.
You're currently in the tropics. Do you want to harvest a random herb, or do you want to attempt to harvest the herb, which
Let's
is here?
harvest our primary herb,
Okay.
the quest herb.
Okay. The quest herb here is. Oops. Link respond. Thank you. Hi. Basically, this one takes it. Basically, it is a prickly bush, much like your like a blackberry bush. Meaning you have to be very careful figuring out exactly where you can reach in and pull the herb, pull the berries off. So it is a will plus wisdom check to harvest them.
Will plus wisdom.
It is up to you if you wish to do
Okay,
it.
that's
or
a
just
9 for me.
Okay.
Nice.
Ha! Ha ha! Ha!
You easily
Made it by a mile.
You easily pull all of the herbs off basically all of the berries off. Panna runs over and it basically gives you a big hug, and she's like, "Oh, it's perfect." And basically she looks at them. Wow, these are all so very, very fruit. That way, as long as she can get her secret ingredient, we'll have the best cake ever. Only I can remember what that was. Some kind of leaf.
I identify the
It's
leaf.
like
Anyway.
she starts like picking leaves off of random bushes and like licking them and smelling them and like, no, not this one. No, not this one either. Oh well, I'm sure we'll figure it out sometime. 20, you're up
Hilarious.
next.
We'll figure it out sometime. Well, it's funny you should bring that up, Panna. Tell me a little bit more about this secret ingredient. How did it smell? What color was it? The shape of the leaf?
Okay. Give
What
me
does that roll again?
It is a double wisdom.
Double wisdom. I failed by 4.
Okay. Basically, you get a long list of things that it isn't. She's like, it's not this leaf. It doesn't taste like this. It doesn't smell like. I'm fairly certain it doesn't smell like pine. It's not poisonous. She drops one leaf after recognizing what it is. You just get this long rambling list of things she's 100% certain it is not. Okay, you can move and harvest.
Well, you keep thinking about that, Panna. We'll come back to it.
She goes to another plant and starts picking leaves. No.
All right. I will move 1 square south.
Okay, you're in the clearing. I will reveal that. That's not the reveal button. Nice try. Okay.
And
You can
I
choose
can
to
harvest
stop
random.
here. You can stop here or keep moving. Your call.
Oh, that's right. I can keep moving. Let's go over here.
Okay. You re-enter a peaceful section. Go ahead and roll a d6 and then another d6.
3, then 3.
Well done. Right down the middle. basically, there's a nice stream you happen to find in a section of the woods. And on the banks of it, basically, growing on some of the rocks is a very slimy moss-like herb. Basically, you've been told to be very careful not to trip. Basically, you can avoid tripping, basically, and slipping on the slippery rocks that grow it. But it is actually, for all that it looks kind of mushy, the mush moss actually is kind of basically it has some nice properties. It's a very tiny line. It is literally it is a one across, two down line.
Got it.
Okay. That was Martine starting this one, so we're back to the top. Michael.
That was me that started this one.
No, Martine was the start of this one, wasn't she?
Yes, because I was AFK.
Yes. Is Martine here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Then it is Michael's turn. I don't know why I was asking for Martine when it's my concern. It's fine. It's been a long couple of days. Everyone here.
I see how it is. I'm going to search.
Okay. Give me your search check.
There we go. 509.
Okay.
Made it by 4.
Yep.
I don't think that matters, but
Essentially, you'll have 3 squares. So which square don't you want to reveal?
the far right corner. Don't reveal that one.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, I'm totally going straight to the flowers.
Okay. All right. Give me a harvest herb for flowers. Field of flowers actually food. What are food flowers? Oh, they're there. 6. Ooh, you have found a somewhat rare herb, which is known as the sunnyflower. A sunflower-like herb that gives off light and warmth, great for winter gardens. But it gives you just gives
Nice.
you a straight up triangle.
That's amazing.
Okay. Then 20.
One moment, wiping my fingers. All right. Let's go back to the questions about the secret ingredient. Panna, you've been very helpful in giving me a list of things that aren't the secret ingredient.
Not this one either.
Can you describe what the secret ingredient does look like, does smell like, and what its shape is?
Okay. Give me another wisdom.
I'm gonna roll that again. I'm still over. Dang it.
She's like, I remember it was yellow. And then she immediately just goes, yellow, and then runs off towards another tree, which happens to be nearby, which is yellow, and goes, oh, no, not this one. And then runs off to another one. This is a flower. Oh, no, that's a flower. It's not a leaf.
Okay, I'll move down here.
Okay. As soon as I remember what the correct command is, I will actually be able to read it. Nope. Come on. Select that. Oh, I had to click that. That's fine. I need to switch to the UI. Why didn't it actually give me an option to switch to the UI? Huh. Weird. So there you go. You find yourself in a field, and it's a very colorful field of flowers.
Okay.
Basically colorful flowers, colorful bushes, colorful everything.
Are there any yellow leaves?
Several. You can basically, if you want to attempt to see if you can find it in here, as this is the right location, but you don't know what it looks like. So you can make basically it's a Dex plus Will check, but it is going to be more. It'll be a +2 difficulty without Panna's help.
Dex plus will. So that's 4 plus 3, so 7. So I
Minus
would have to.
basically -2 essentially to your -2, so it'd be a 5. So you have to roll 5 or under.
Okay.
Can you help
Okay.
your teammates in any fashion in this game?
Yes,
Oh, I'm
that
not
is
in the same square as her anyway, but can I still help her?
what the familiarity thing is for. At any point, you
Okay.
could choose to aid. Essentially, you
I
could
will
do it.
choose to aid.
Okay, you can do that once per thing, and you add your familiarity score to the skill check. So that would change it from a 5 to a 6.
All right. So I rolled 2d6, and if I score 6 or under, I win.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
As a
All
note,
right.
before you
Good luck.
roll, 2 are
Yeah.
critical failures because they're somewhat rude in this game about that. 2 is just a critical failure. I don't know why 2 is and not a 12, but 2s are critical failures.
Okay. Well, I failed, but not critically.
Yep. Okay.
Dang it.
Roll me a d6 and then subtract 3 from it.
5 minus 3 is 2.
Okay. So you do not come up with anything actually. You do not actually manage to find the herb, but you do manage basically while you're searching around and poking around. You do manage to turn up a big rainbrella flower. It is a giant V.
Okie dokie.
I think I'd maybe do basically, as a note to the viewers or anyone watching the stream later, I think I've come into the understanding I am probably doing this wrong, and I think it is only the first person who actually gets to do the herb check. It's slightly unclear on the chart, but it refers to the turn player as being the person who gets it, and I don't know. I may be doing this slightly wrong, but we're running with it, and it's fine. Because I think what it's supposed to be is that the turn player, everybody moves. But yeah, it's a weird system. I don't know how it's supposed to work if it doesn't supposed to work this way. In any case, so that was a 20's turn. So that brings us to Martine.
So do I still get all my turns since I aided?
Yes, that just basically did what all the aiding does is cost you the fact that you cannot aid 20 in the future.
Ah, okay. Got it. So I will. Can I move then action, or do I have to action then move?
You can do it either way.
Then I will move over to the tropical square because I'm in the chili and I can go to 10, which is where 20 is, correct?
No, 20 is down in 16.
1, 2, 3. I can get to 16.
You can.
So I will, because 1, 2, 3, yeah, I can get to 16. So I will go to 16 and I will try to find the stupid flower.
Okay.
Leap. It's a leap.
The stupid leaf.
Okay.
So
I'm in the lighting mode. Why am I in the lighting mode?
I will see if I can't go find the leaf. That is a 7. So that is also, what is it? What is the
It is
it's
basically
Dex plus wisdom?
it's Dex plus Will.
Oh, Dex with will. That is exactly it is exactly like 7.
Okay, and it's 2 more difficult because you don't know exactly what you're looking for, so you don't quite
Okay.
find it.
So I fail.
Yep. You can choose to magic boost twice if you want to make that work, but you have to give up 2 triangles on your
Nah, I'll
Alrighty.
search. I'll pick up a rando.
Okay, give me a d6. If you get, basically, you have to roll a 3 or higher to actually find anything.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Complete bust of a turn. Got it.
Basically,
Yay!
you end up eliminating with 20 a lot of different things, along with Panna in the background going, nope, that's not it either.
I frolic beautifully in the flowers.
Frolic, 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 frolic.
All I can see right now is Ferdinand with his flower.
Yep,
Ferdinand the bull.
Ferdinand the bull. All right,
I
that brings
probably frolic was about just as much grace.
us 20. It is now your turn.
One
Because I
moment.
think the turn thing is supposed to be because only the turn player gets to harvest herbs, but everybody gets to move and take actions. I think it's a little bit weird.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused, but I think it will probably shake out. So, she's gonna try again with Panna and just, try and walk her through step by step, tell
Okay.
me about the shape and the smell and the you said that it was yellow. Is it like bright yellow or is it mustard yellow? Help me out. And that's 2d6. And I'm still over. God,
How much are you over this time?
2.
Okay. You have pushed her enough that she's finally like, oh, that's right. It's like lemon. It's a yellow like a lemon. Oh, like a lemon drop leaf. That's what it is. It's the lemon drop leaf. And she points
Are
off
there
to.
any
She points directly to a bush which is covered in them. Um, However, basically, for a secret ingredient, Amara used the leaves from the lemon drop, a fragrant herb often used to give sweets a refreshing aroma and tart flavor. However, lemon drops are delicate herbs requiring great care. If handled roughly, their wonderful aroma and flavor will fade. You'll need skilled and steady hands to prepare the leaves so they will not basically lose their savor on the trip back. It is still a Dex plus will check, but you no longer have the penalty.
It's Dex plus will?
Yep.
Okay. 2, so that's 7. So here we go. Welp.
Basically, she kind of frowns and basically says, "Oh, basically, unless you want to spend two triangles on your grid,
I
or
will
2 squares."
absolutely spend 2 triangles on my grid. Are you kidding?
Okay, that is an option known as Magic Burst.
Whoops.
Color that puppy in.
Triangle. This is meant to all be filled in, but it's not cooperating. Triangle. There we go.
Triangle.
Right? You see you're with me on.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that will harvest the last one, and in doing so, basically, Panna will be incredibly excited and be like, "Oh, that does it. That's all of it. I totally can make the best cake ever now." I will let 20. Did you start? You started this round, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she will start to head back. So the rest of you will get essentially one more turn. So Martine, then Michael, get one more turn. And
Well, I'm
then,
already with 20, so I'm gonna harvest at random, I guess.
okay, this is a field of flowers, so roll a d6. And Michael, do you want to do anything on your turn? You are in a space with an object, so you could do that and harvest.
Actually, since I'm gonna move over to 15 and see if I can't find the object in 15.
Okay,
That makes more sense, yeah?
sure.
I don't know. All right. So how do we pick up an object?
Roll 2d6.
All right. 8.
Okay. You find, of course you would. You find a pretty mushroom that shifts through all the colors of the rainbow. Having it makes
Yay!
you feel like good things are coming your way.
Yay, mushrooms!
You can add to your inventory, basically, however you want to record this, is a psychedelic mushroom. It gives you +1 to the target of your next check.
That fits somehow.
You can just add it into the PDF or
+1
whatever.
to target for next check.
Yep. AKA it makes your next
I
check.
am gonna move.
Basically, you can choose to use it, and then give me a random D. You're in a field of flowers, so give me a D6. Mike, what do you want to move over one and pick up the object in the next clearing over?
2.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the 9 and then pick up that object.
Okay. Give you 2d6. Martine, on a 2, you get you get a big rainbrella, which is the V-shaped one in area 2.
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah, I have it open. I can.
I accidentally deleted part of my shape.
6. Roll again, Mike.
Okay. That's a bad object.
No, it's the same object you got last time.
Oh, got it.
So I was just like, okay, this is a cantaloupe, a melon herb that gives off a bright glow. Its delicious flavor makes it a rare treat. Recover 1d6. You can basically, if you consume it, you recover 1d6 life points.
Nice.
Okay. So after
And
all that, you
then
guys will head
you
back.
need me to harvest?
Yes, give me a d6. Your water side. Okay. On a 2, you will find an herb of an extremely sour fruit, generally seen in swamps. And it is a short little 2-line thing. Straight line.
That's fine. I got you right there.
Okay. So now that you guys have done all of that, you head back into town. And basically Panda's like, oh, okay. All right. Basically she kind of brings you into the shop, basically kind of slipping into a back way. And she's like, all right, you guys wait right here. She has you sit in the shop, and I'm good. Basically, in case I need you to, we may want to do a little bit of a tasting. So I might make a little small one, so that we can taste it first. And then she goes into the kitchen, and you hear her humming contentedly, and then basically you hear making noise. Occasionally, you could just overhear her occasionally saying things like, "Was it 1 or 2? Huh? 2. That looks right. Sure." It keeps going like that for a while. And then she's like, "Oh, okay. Now we have to bake it." Basically, you can hear her basically clanging a cookware, swirling, a scraping of batter being mixed. She's put it into the oven. And then basically you go like, "Okay," then basically, "Okay," and then wait, just huh? Oh no! Hey! Oh no! Basically she starts screaming, "Oh, it's running away! Help!"
What?
You rush into the kitchen and you see the cake batter, which is puffed up to human size and is desperately escaping the oven. She has apparently done
no.
something
Gingerbread
wrong,
man.
and now the cake is coming for you all. And we turn off
times.
off the
Run
map,
as fast as you can.
and
Can't
now you
get
can
me, I'm the
see.
gingerbread man.
Now you can see. Basically, for some reason, it's choosing not to show that grid. That's fine. Where is that? Oh, is it buried under something? In any case, you can see the picture on the stream. I'll add it into Roll20 here shortly. But there is literally a large piece of cake and the two smaller cakes she had also baked have also come to life and are all attacking you. And it is now 7:00. So this would be basically, if people wish to continue, we can keep going and actually do the actual fight, or we could save this to possibly next week. Since I think we're all here next week. Next Tuesday, we don't leave till Wednesday to go to Origins. So it is up to people how long they want to be here.
My preference would be to save it for next week, but I can stay if others can stay.
Okay. So
I'm perfectly happy to save it.
Okay, so make sure you save basically everything you have picked up. Make sure you save your grid and make sure that is available to you next time. And hopefully we'll be able to do all of this. Tony's game for whatever. Awesome. Because I'm always like, oh wait, Tony, don't you have a, but like, no, you could just shut across the room now.
Or even just have a perfectly normal volume conversation.
That's crazy.
What?
Gasp.
In any case, so save all of this, and next time we will be able to do this at a more reasonable time because hopefully we've gotten most of the bugs and other stuff fixed out of how to do this, and people will remember how to load this back in. So keep all of your stuff, keep your PDFs, keep all of that ready, and we will be able to pick up next time with the boss fight against the cake.
Whoa.
All right. So basically, I've talked about a little bit. Basically, as we wrap up here, basically just a brief note. I will just go ahead and switch to this. So thank you for watching. We are going to be at Origins next week. So if you happen to be at Origins, stop by the booth. We have things to give away. We have things to sell you. We have things to possibly sell you. We really need to figure that part out. We will have a pin. You can talk to us about how you can acquire a pin. We will tell you at that point how to acquire a pin. They are cool pins. They have cool designs. We will have those designs at some point on our social media feeds because we should probably advertise it. But basically, you can also see Lorelink in person and meet all those crazy people who are the voices behind these streams. And we will show you how Lorelink works and very excitedly tell you all the exciting things we are doing. Also, sometime next week, whenever Kickstarter gets back to us, because we have to submit for approval, we will hopefully have a Kickstarter up so that we can connect better with our community and better find out what our community wants and the ways we can work with them and help them. We will also be basically, so that Kickstarter will be starting and you can join us for that. So in a whole bunch of stuff in terms of basically what you can do to help, obviously keep an eye on our social medias or sign up for our newsletter to be the first people to know when the Kickstarter goes live, and you can join in on that as soon as possible. If you're going to Origins, come see us there. If you're listening to this stream on Twitch, you can give us a follow here on Twitch. That would be awesome. If you are watching this later on YouTube, because you eventually catch us later, basically give us a subscribe on YouTube and ring the bell and all that fun things you can do on YouTube. If you are basically you could go to our sign up fee. You can sign up for our newsletter at our contact page. And that will give you first crack information on those sorts of things. And in general, just keep following, keep listening, and be ready to keep an eye on us. And basically, we're going places and we're trying to do things, and hopefully you'll be coming along for the ride. So thank you very much for watching, listening, and doing all of those things. However you found us here. So, and we will catch you next week, hopefully around this, basically around 5 o'clock next week. All right. Catch you all later. Thanks for watching.